Imagine a prophet whose words span 66 chapters, mirroring the Bible's own structure, foretelling events centuries apart with pinpoint accuracy. This is Isaiah. Hey there. If these Bible stories are helping you grow in God's Word, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new summary. Let's keep spreading the word, one story at a time. God bless you. Now let's continue. This is a story about Isaiah, a prophet called by God during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Isaiah witnessed a nation outwardly religious, but inwardly corrupt. God showed Isaiah a vision in the temple. Isaiah saw the Lord seated on a high throne, surrounded by seraphim crying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory." Isaiah felt ruined, a man of unclean lips among a people of unclean lips. A seraph touched his lips with a live coal from the altar, purifying him. When God asked, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" Isaiah responded, "Here am I, send me." God commissioned him to speak to a people whose hearts would be calloused, ears dull, and eyes closed. Isaiah delivered God's message to Judah and Jerusalem. He condemned their empty rituals, social injustice, and idolatry. The people offered sacrifices while oppressing the poor and seeking alliances with pagan nations like Assyria and Egypt instead of trusting God. Isaiah pronounced woes upon them for their pride, greed, and drunkenness. He warned of imminent judgment. God would use the ruthless Assyrian Empire as his rod of anger to discipline his rebellious people. Assyria would sweep through the northern kingdom of Israel, destroying it and exiling its people. Judah would not escape unscathed. Assyria would invade, ravaging the land and laying siege to Jerusalem itself. King Ahaz, terrified by the Assyrian threat, sought help from Assyria rather than turning to God, further provoking divine anger. Isaiah pleaded with King Hezekiah to trust God alone when the Assyrian king Sennacherib surrounded Jerusalem, mocking God. Hezekiah prayed, and Isaiah delivered God's promise. The Assyrian king would not enter the city. That very night, the angel of the Lord struck down 185,000 Assyrian soldiers, forcing Sennacherib's retreat and eventual assassination. Despite the warnings of judgment, Isaiah proclaimed profound messages of hope. God would not utterly destroy his people. A remnant would survive, purified through the fire of affliction. Isaiah foretold a future time of unparalleled peace and righteousness. A child would be born, a son given, bearing the government on his shoulders. He would be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His reign would establish justice and righteousness forever. Isaiah described a shoot coming up from the stump of Jesse, David's father. The Spirit of the Lord would rest upon him. He would judge the poor with righteousness and slay the wicked. The wolf would live with the lamb, the leopard lie down with the goat. The earth would be full of the knowledge of the Lord. Isaiah also spoke of a mysterious servant of the Lord. This servant would bring justice to the nations, not by shouting or breaking bruised reeds, but gently and faithfully. He would be a light for the Gentiles, opening blind eyes and freeing captives. Yet this servant would be despised, rejected, and acquainted with sorrow. He would be pierced for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace would be upon him, and by his wounds we would be healed. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, he would bear the sin of many and make intercession for the transgressors. Isaiah declared God's sovereignty over all nations and all history. He mocked the lifeless idols of Babylon and other nations, contrasting them with the living God who created the heavens and the earth. He foretold the rise of Cyrus, king of Persia, by name, generations before Cyrus was born. Cyrus would be God's instrument to allow the Jewish exiles in Babylon to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. Isaiah proclaimed comfort to God's people in exile. Their hard service was completed, their sin paid for. God would make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. He urged them not to fear, for he was their Redeemer. The prophet looked beyond the return from Babylon to a glorious future restoration. He envisioned a new heavens and a new earth, where the former things would not be remembered. Jerusalem would be a crown of splendor, a city not forsaken. God would gather all nations to his holy mountain. He would destroy death forever and wipe away every tear. The redeemed would sing a new song of salvation. Isaiah ended with a universal call. God extended an invitation to all who were thirsty to come to the waters, to buy wine and milk without money. He urged the wicked to forsake their ways and turn to the Lord for mercy. For God's thoughts were higher than man's thoughts, and his word would accomplish its purpose. The book closes with the stark reality of final judgment for the rebellious and eternal blessing for God's faithful servants. Isaiah's message resonates through centuries, revealing a holy God who judges sin yet passionately pursues redemption. His prophecies unveil God's ultimate plan, the suffering servant bearing our iniquity, the Prince of Peace establishing an everlasting kingdom, and the Creator making all things new. This divine narrative assures us that human rebellion cannot thwart God's purpose. His judgment is real, exposing our need. His mercy is profound, offering forgiveness through the servant's sacrifice. His faithfulness is unwavering, promising final restoration for those who trust him. In a world of shifting alliances and fleeting hopes, Isaiah points to the only sure foundation, the Lord, the everlasting rock. Trusting in him, not our own strength or wisdom, brings true peace and eternal security. His word stands forever, accomplishing all he intends. Thank you for watching this far. If you enjoyed this summary, please hit that like button and leave us a comment on where you are watching us from.